Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you like me and my channel, hit subscribe. So this morning, I just wanted to chat with all of you guys. First off, I actually say I feel so blessed that I made a video 2 years ago about suffering with panic disorder, and I still to this day get messages about it, and I just can't even tell you how much that means to me. It makes me feel like I'm helping other people, which really means a lot to me, but also it makes me feel like I'm building a community where we can all talk about this freely. And I feel blessed that I can connect to so many people who've also been through the same or a similar struggle. And I think panic disorder is really hard to understand because, it's so easy to be anxious or stressed. And for people just to be like, oh, well, like, just calm down or just feel better. And easier said than done. Like, we would love to calm down. We would love to feel better. Like, thanks a lot. I didn't think of that one myself. Like, what do you mean? I just think that it's been a really rewarding experience to open up and then to hear so much back from all of you. As you guys know, when I do mental health videos, I don't like to be glam. I don't want to look perfect. I don't want to feel like I've put any kind of effort or show into it, because I think this is just real life. This is first off, my couch isn't even in order because I was trying to cuddle with the dog, and in order to do that, for both of us to lay here, because he's so big, I have to move pillows so then we can both lay down. Anyway, I got off topic, but my point is that I don't want it to feel like anything other than someone in their home coming to you, to your home, and just speaking just straight up and outright. Now, I am coming off of an evening that was just a full-blown panic attack. And I don't get panic attacks very often anymore because of CBD. I mean, CBD too. I love CBD. We can talk about that in a different video. Because of CBT therapy, or cognitive behavioral therapy, because of EMDR, because of meditation. Honestly, I cannot rave enough about meditating, yoga, all of that stuff. And then also my medications, which we've all talked about. So I wanted to come back and talk to you guys and say, I'm not cured. There's never going to be a cure. It's never going to be 100% easy. It's never going to be a panic attack free life. It's just about turning down the volume on your anxiety. Down, just down. Which way's down? Down the volume on your anxiety, and about living a life where you can manage it and where you can cope. It's about a life that isn't overwhelming and scary, but joyful and enjoyable. And that's ultimately what I want to try to help you guys build, because that's what I've been able to achieve in my life so far, and hopefully can continue to do that. So today I wanted to talk about core beliefs and core messages. So a lot of people who I talk to who have anxiety or panic disorder didn't always have the easiest upbringing. Even if they did grow up in a life of privilege, it doesn't necessarily mean that they had the easiest upbringing. And some people who didn't grow up in a life of privilege, I know people who have grown up quite poor, but they had an amazing family bond, but now they suffer with really bad panic disorder. And yes, this is a chemical imbalance, but it's also the way our brain is trained. Am I speaking English today? No, because I'm very tired and I had a massive panic attack last night, which, as you guys know, drains your body. It's about the way your brain has been trained over years and years and years. When we were younger, at least when I was younger, it wasn't really a thing to be conscious or mindful or to have that sort of teaching for your children, like when I have my child, I'm totally going to teach them how to identify their emotions. I'm going to teach them coping mechanisms. I'm going to teach them, belly breathing and meditation and things like that, because I want to cut off the ability to jump right into like a full-blown panic attack. I want to teach them how to be able to calm themselves and self-soothe themselves. But okay, so going back to friends who, grew up without a lot of money but great family support, they've always grown up with this idea of like money is security and they need this, and they're not safe if they don't have money because they might get kicked out of their home. And that is so stressful. So any kind of like little change, whether it's a job change or it's, moving into a place that is nicer or even more nicer or bigger or, costs a little bit more, it's extraordinarily anxiety producing for them. And, or just even, say they finally got their like dream job and they're making tons of money. Spending money is so anxiety producing for them. Like a friend of mine recently gifted herself a Chanel bag, which she's been working for like a decade. And after she bought it, it was meant to be like the most joyful moment. She went home and like cried and started to go into like full-blown panic disorder and was like, I need to return this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm an idiot, blah, blah. And that seems so small. And like, that seems really, I know it's a very materialistic example, but she's worked over a decade to be able to buy herself these nice things. She's making 150 grand plus a year. She is single. She, owns her apartment. Her mortgage is low. She can be doing these things, and she can be doing these things without worry, and she can be doing them happily, but they're terrifying to her. Now, for me, I grew up, not wildly rich or anything. We definitely had financial issues, and I was always aware of that, but I was never in danger of being homeless. I was never in danger of, not having a place to live or go. But I never grew up with like a stable family. My siblings were my stable family, but they were young as well, and they couldn't just take care of us. And for me, any change, financial, relationships, moving, anything is terrifying. I mean, getting sick is terrifying. Like for me, even having like a cold, it like sets it off in my body. Like my body's like, oh, something's different. Time to have a panic attack. And so I have a really, really hard time. And I know a lot of times with like moving or change, it's like, we should really think of it one step at a time. When I was young, I had a therapist who used to say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so with any challenge that, comes up in my life and things like that, it really should be the same way. So if I'm moving, it's just like, okay, go to sleep tonight, tomorrow, like, papers are signed tomorrow, like, figure out what do I want to keep? What do I want to get rid of? What am I selling? What am I donating? Great. Okay. Next day, figure out what isn't coming to the new house and what isn't. And then after that, decide, what do I want to buy for the new place? Go to sleep. Next day, pack up stuff, start packing, next day, start moving things over to the house, then start unpacking the house. Like, it sounds so simple, one step at a time, and it should be that simple. But for me, it's like, what am I doing? What am I, like, what am I bringing things? Oh my God, what if something happens and like last minute that Lord, like, doesn't, like, can't take me, or decides that he doesn't want to take a dog, or she doesn't want to take a dog, or what happens if like this or that, and oh my God, I have so much stuff to pack, I don't know where to donate the stuff. What if I don't donate in time? I don't want to move things that I don't need. Like, it just, all of it like just like trickles down, and it's like, oh God, if that landlord won't take us like randomly last minute, even though I've signed the papers, Like, I don't have this apartment anymore, where will I go? And like, I live in a different country from my family, so it's also like, I can't just be like, oh, I'll just go stay at my sister's for a few nights or whatever, a few weeks. I don't have that luxury, so it does get really, really scary. And rather than just like, you know, the first example where you just take it one step at a time, you just, you know, today my only job is X, and, you know, to relax and to take care of myself. Of course, my brain doesn't work that way. Like, no, it doesn't. Like, why? Why can't I be like those people? Like, those people are logical and they make sense. No, I don't. And I'm sure a lot of you out there feel the same way. Like, it's frustrating. So we kind of have to learn to rewire our brains. And it's a really hard process, especially when you feel overwhelmed and you weren't taught these skills, and especially when you feel like it comes down to you. And I think for a lot of us, the reason why our brains are this way, you know, whether it was like money issues growing up or family issues growing up, or you know, a family member dying, or, you know, a family member walking out, or just like lots of change growing up. The reason I think is that we often receive messages as children that, like, you know, we're not okay. That hurt. That we're not okay, that we're not enough, and that it's not going to be okay. And I think that's like stress that we see from our parents, and we internalize it as children. And even though they're not trying to give us this stress, we see it, we worry, we take it on. And then, you know, even things as simple as, like, I've always thought about this a lot. And it's something that when I have kids, I'm going to do. And when I nannied, I saw a huge difference in the children that I nannied, which is that if a kid falls down, or when I fell down and I scraped my knee, or, you know, something like that, the first thing is someone runs over to me, would hug me, and they say, oh, you're okay, you're okay, you're going to be fine, don't worry. Why are you telling me I'm okay? If I was okay, then you wouldn't tell me that. Like, do you know what I mean? So our first reaction to any kind of like fear or pain is like, you know, I'm not okay. Because otherwise someone wouldn't have told us growing up that we were okay. And so when I started nannying, when kids would fall, I would say, you know, I know it hurts. I know, trust me, I've fallen down before. I know it's uncomfortable. I know you feel pain. I promise you the pain's gonna pass. I know you don't feel okay right now, but in the whole scheme of things, you're gonna be okay. You're enough. You've got this. Like, you're totally safe. And I know it doesn't feel okay, but there's a difference between it not feeling okay and being okay. And I did this with one of the kids I nannied, and by the end of that year, and I nannied for about 2 years with this one child, like, she would fall down, like, literally she needed stitches one time, and she was like, it hurts and it doesn't feel okay, but I know I'm okay. And she like was saying that to the doctor as the doctor is like stitching up a scar that she got here. And I was like, oh, like, part of it was like, oh God, like, I sound so, you know, hippy dippy. But then the other part of me was like, yes, girl, like, yes, like, you are okay. You're enough, you know? And like, the doctor was like, I remember the doctor even said, like, you know, we're going to numb it. And she was like, you don't need to. It hurts, but it's not that bad. And I was like, yeah, like, this is going to serve you in life. Like, when you have your first heartbreak, you're not going to be like curled up on the floor with an anxiety attack like I was, being like, what will I do now? Like, that was my support system. I have one less person supporting me, like, emotionally. Will I be okay? Like, you know, because that was my reaction to pain, and that is my reaction to pain or fear or worries still. No, she'll be like, you know what? I'm in pain. A breakup sucks, but I'm gonna be okay with or without him. And like, that is the most powerful message, isn't it? We are gonna be okay, and we are enough. And we you know, we can take care of ourselves, and we don't need someone else to take care of us. And I think it's so hard. And I think it's just rewiring our brains and you know, finding the right tools for ourselves. And I know it's not a simple equation. This is something I've always felt and I've always said. And I get so many emails from you guys asking me about my medicines and my, like, you know, all of the different things I do. And I know they don't always work for you guys. And that's okay as well, because it's not just a one-off, you know. That's the biggest thing about anxiety or just mental health in general. Like, it's not a one-off. And it's a very, like, mental health is a multi-ingredient recipe, right? You know, there's a billion ways to make a mac and cheese. Like, do you want truffle mac and cheese? Do you want a 4-cheese mac and cheese? Do you want just cheddar? Like, do you want it from the box? Do you want it homemade? Like, and even if you do it homemade, like, do you want like a powdered cheese? Do you want like a, you know, do you want to melt down and grate your cheese? Do you want to add milk? Do you want a vegan mac and cheese? Like, there's no one way to make mac and cheese, and there's no one way to fixing your anxiety and your panic disorder. And I know that it's extremely stressful and it's extremely painful, and that's something I will talk about in my next video. I want to help you guys explain panic disorder to other people, because it is so hard to get people to understand what we go through. Last night when I was having a panic attack, I actually thought about turning on my camera and showing you guys. And I know that sounds very scary and it's very vulnerable for me, but I don't think people understand what it's like to be like laying on the ground shaking and like barely able to move, and your breathing is like labored, and you know, maybe mentally, you know, I'm far enough down the line where I know I don't need to call a hospital. I know, you know, I know I don't need anybody to do anything for me. I just need to find a way to help my body relax. I need to find the right music or meditation or move. I just need to find the right thing to sort of help calm my brain and get all of those rushing thoughts out and move forward. But I know for some of you it's still terrifying, and that's fine. That is okay. But, you know, I want to be able to help people explain and understand panic disorder and anxiety, and I want to help you guys find different ways of coping. So some of the things I'm thinking of are like healthy sleep routines. That's a massive. For me, having a really great solid sleep routine was everything. And also being able to ask for your needs. I find, especially with travel, that in order to combat my anxiety, there are things that I need. You know, I need to put on my go-to meditation, which I can pop a link in the description box for you guys. I need to find my go-to and put it on, and I need to like have moments where I'm just by myself. I need to eat before the flight, because if I eat after or if I eat during, it won't sit well because I get a bit motion sick. Window seat, I need to be able to like look out and navigate myself a little bit, because that also helps with the motion sickness. I have like different needs. It sounds really high maintenance, and that's okay. Like, I'm okay with being like, hi, I'm high maintenance, but you know what? I have anxiety and I have panic disorder. And if me being high maintenance means that I'm not gonna have a panic attack on this flight, then bring it on. Like, I'll be a little queen bee bitch. Like, that's fine. Like, I would rather be difficult than suffering. And I think when you find the right people and good influences, they're gonna understand that. So these are things I want to help you guys achieve. And I think we can do it together. And I think this could be a beautiful online community. So let's do it, right? This is what I'm about. This is what my blog, The Brunette Bardot, has been about sort of forever. It's been about mental health and fashion and all these things. And I know my Instagram looks like very superfluous and just like, I'm so cool, look at me modeling on the streets. Ooh. But like behind all of that, when you read captions, a lot of times it's like mental health, you know, romance, relationships, like positive body image, all of this. Like, this is what we are creating. This is the community we're building. So whether you're a man, you're a woman, whether you're a kid, like, I curse a lot if you're a kid, and I'm sorry, but it's who I am, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I think some things need that emphasis. Let's do this. Like, let's build a community together and make it something beautiful and make it something great. And, I'm currently in London, but, in the future, I'd love to try to do like meetups. I'd love to try to, really, really build an amazing community around this. So also, if you guys have anything you guys want me to talk about, please write it below. And let's get going. Let's do this. And I will see you next time.